What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Nicole, and this is Discovering Nicole. So, today's video, you guys, we're going to talk about early recovery, and post-acute withdrawal. I'm going to sit down right here. So, yes, I can remember when I was in early recovery, honey, and let me just tell y'all, it was a struggle bus. When I first got sober, me and my husband had just had our son taken away from us by Child Protective Services. So I was not in a good headspace. I was the most depressed I'd ever been in my whole entire life. And plus I had came off all these drugs and I had absolutely zero coping skills. So what I had to do first, you guys, was I had to reach out and get like-minded people around me, okay? I needed people who understood what it was like to be in recovery and what it was like to be in early recovery. And so what I did was I started going to meetings. Now, I do know that not like everybody's going to want to go to meetings, so that's why I started this online community that we have here, because so many people get so much out of being able to be in a fellowship like this and do it from the comfort of their own home. So I did the outside meetings and I did the inside meetings. One of the things that a lot of people struggle with in early recovery is post-acute withdrawal syndrome. I know a lot of you guys are, less than a year sober and you're going through post-acute withdrawal right now, which honestly, you guys, it can last past 2 years. Now, how do I feel about mine? I feel like my post-acute withdrawal lasted 8 months. The reason why I think it was so rough and so long was because I came off of benzos cold turkey. I didn't taper or go to detox. So I had come off of multiple substances in detox, but then I relapsed on benzos and was taken off of them cold turkey, which was so dangerous and should have never happened. So what is post-acute withdrawal? What happens? Post-acute withdrawal is the withdrawal after your physical withdrawal. It is the mental part of things that you feel, right? It's the depression. It's the anxiety. It's the unable to be able to sleep at night. It is the unimpending sense of doom that we carry with us and we feel in early recovery. It is the awkwardness of not being able to talk to people because we're not high, because we only knew how to talk to people when we were fucked up. It's all that. All that is post-acute withdrawal. And so I remember thinking, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to stay sober and get custody of my son back? I just can't forfeit my son. I have to fight. I have to fight through this. And so even though I was struggling so much, I kept fighting and I tried to keep as positive of a mindset as I could, because I learned really, really early in recovery that if I'm constantly focusing on the negative, that's exactly how I'm going to feel. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If I'm saying I can't make it, then I'm not going to make it. If I'm saying, I feel like shit, then I'm going to continue feeling like shit. I have to fake it till I make it, right? I have to think in my mind that, okay, I'm feeling better. I'm going to get up and I'm going to move something today. I'm going to reach out and call somebody. I'm going to snitch on my addiction. I'm going to tell people that I'm struggling, right? And I'm not going to do it alone. Well, even if it's not me leaving my home, I might be on the internet, watching a Nicole live stream, hanging out, doing our makeup, cleaning the kitchen, watching Nate play Oculus. At least we're all here together, sober, and trying to improve our lives, So that's what you got to do, is just keep on pushing. Don't ever give up on yourself. Now, one of the most hardest times for me during my early recovery was how I felt when I tried to communicate with other human beings. I would go to the grocery store and I was so awkward. I would start talking to a person and next thing I know, I'm telling them about how I used to shoot dope in my neck and I fucking gave birth to my son under the influence and he got taken away from me. Overkill, overshare, right? And it was because I just didn't know how to act sober. It had been so long since I had been sober that I didn't remember what it was like to be a human in the regular world and just do small talk, you know? That was all. It was so hard for me because I felt so awkward all the time, all the time. The second hardest thing for me, or probably this is probably the hardest, was just how I felt on the inside. How I felt like worthless, ugly. I kept looking at all my friends who had graduated high school with me and how their lives were amazing, and they were like doctors and nurses and lawyers and pharmacists and stay-at-home moms and married, and I was just comparing my life to theirs. And let me just tell y'all something. Comparison is the thief of joy. You know, there's a reason why I became a drug addict, and it's because my higher power knew exactly what I was going to be doing once I got away from that lifestyle. And that is what I'm doing right now, trying to help other people, you know? But I couldn't pull myself out of the depression and everything on my own. So I went to the doctor and I got help, you guys. I went to my family care physician and I talked to him about what I was feeling like, and he prescribed me Lexapro and he prescribed me Wellbutrin, and it helped me so much. I had psychological evaluations ran during the time that my son got taken away, and then a couple of years later I had another one ran, and then a couple of years later I had another one ran, just to make sure that the medications I'm on are like what I need to be taking for what I'm struggling with, you know? So if you're somebody that's in early recovery and you haven't been to the doctor to have your mental health evaluated, you need to do that. It's like really, really important. And you also need to get into some therapy because it's so important and it helps so much. It helps to learn how to build coping skills, right? So like when we were in our active addiction, our only coping skill was, oh, well, I had a fight with my husband, I'm going to shoot dope. Oh, I wrecked my car, I'm going to get drunk. I'm celebrating, I'm going to snort some cocaine. Like everything, every emotion was met with drugs, right? So when we get sober, we have to learn how to cope with life. So what are we going to do when these things happen now? Well, if our first reaction was to get drugs, we have to start learning how to change that, right? And we have to start filling our time with new things to do, new habits, things that help us cope better than drugs did, right? That's why I'm telling you to get into therapy. That's why I'm telling you to get into a fellowship and get with people that are like-minded so you guys can talk to each other and help each other. You know, that's why I'm telling you guys to spend time with people that are in recovery and don't be running them streets, right? All these things are going to help you to learn how to cope. Some tips and tricks that I learned early on was snitching on my addiction, talking about how I felt. When I was struggling, I told on myself, okay? Number 2, remembering the worst time I had when I was in active addiction, and that was the day my son got taken away from me. Reflecting on that, okay? Some other little tips and tricks that I have are like thought stopping tips and tricks. So a lot of the times I'll have a thought, right? A trigger that'll come into my mind and it'll be like, oh, you need to lose weight. You need to get skinny. You could do some meth and that would happen, right? That is probably one of my biggest triggers. And so for me, there's little acts that I can do that help me move my thoughts to something else, right? And so one of the main things that I do when I have those thoughts is I go live. And I get to talking to you guys and we talk about something, and I'm on a whole nother subject within 5 minutes, and I'm happy and I'm laughing and we're having a good time, you know? Some other little techniques are like if you have like cinnamon candy or something spicy, putting that in your mouth and like focusing on that can help you like move your thoughts to that instead of, you know, obsessing over whether or not you need to go do meth or not. I'm afraid to do drugs now. I don't want to die. I'm afraid that, you know, the fentanyl out there would kill me. I wouldn't be able to handle it. So that's also something that helps me stay sober, is being afraid, right? I also don't want to leave my son behind, and my son is my greatest motivation, my greatest motivation. But with all that aside, if you don't have a son or any of those things, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, getting involved with other people that can support you is so, so important. Finding a mentor, a recovery coach, a sponsor, or an accountability partner is really, really important. Okay, it's going to help you on your journey. Getting in therapy is really, really important. It's going to help you so, so much. Making sure you take care of your mental health is so, so important. It's going to help you so, so much. Okay, and realizing and giving yourself grace that, yeah, I am going through post-acute withdrawal. This is normal. It's okay for me to feel like this, right? Also, get busy planning your days out. That way you aren't just blowing in the wind. That way you're not just like, impulse control is important. Okay, so we don't have impulse control when we first get sober. That's why we were fucking shooting dope, because we couldn't control our impulses, right? And so we have to learn how to gain impulse control again. Okay, and so that is a way you can gain impulse control, is by planning your day. Go and get yourself a planner, and go and get yourself one of those little calendar things and a journal. Got it? Okay, and I want you to journal every single day, and I want you to plan your weeks. Okay, I want you to be on Sunday night. I want you to be sitting at that table over there with your journal and your planner and your calendar, and I want you to be sketching out what each day is going to consist of. Because if you have a schedule that you're keeping up with, you are less likely to go over to Joe Blow's house and shoot cocaine. Okay? I'm telling you. All right? I'm telling you 100%. Another thing that I want you to do, I want you to wake up every morning, and whatever you believe in, whatever your higher power is, I want you to say, thank you, higher power. Thank you for waking me up today, and thanks for keeping me sober all day yesterday. Okay? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to make a list of 5 things you're grateful for every single morning. And it has to be something different every single morning, okay? And when I tell you this, it's going to challenge you. It's going to challenge you to think outside the box. It's going to challenge you to change your perception, because you're going to go from being, woe is me, I'm hurting, I'm depressed, to what am I grateful for? What can I find that I'm grateful for that I haven't already listed, right? And that's going to help you. That is going to help you so, so much. All right. Another thing that I think is really important that will help you in your early recovery is gaining about 10 people's phone numbers who have like a year or more sober. Okay. So that way you can call somebody when you're struggling and reach out to them. And yeah, those are things that really, really helped me, a lot, especially when I was in early recovery. What else did I do in early recovery? I'll tell you a mistake I made in early recovery. A mistake I made in early recovery was not exercising, not getting out and moving my body. And I gained a bunch of weight, and I got even more triggered because of that shit. So if you're in early recovery, my best advice to you would be to stay on your 8. What does that mean? Find balance. Okay, and 8 is 4 and 4. Stay on your 8. That's balance. So find balance in your life. Have physical exercise every day. Drink plenty of water. Journal. Do your gratitude list. If you have a job, work your job, right? Call your support system. Go to your therapist appointment. Like, have balance, and make sure that you're incorporating recovery into your life every single day. Okay? Because if you prioritize anything in front of your recovery, that will be the thing that you lose first. And then you'll have to, you'll lose your recovery. You'll end up relapsing. So I hope this helped you guys that are out there that are struggling, that are brand new in recovery. If you guys would like me to do a live where we talk about like things that we can do to help us stay sober, and you guys can write them down, we can totally do that. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know if this video was helpful at all. Let me know if there's anything that you would change about it. I'm looking for constructive criticism, so please let me know. Okay, I want to do better for you guys. Okay. All right. Love you guys, and I'll see y'all on our next live stream.